Brian Arnold and Tim Meister here with you on a Tuesday night for some non-league action. The Bryan Lady Bears are hosting the Van Wert Cougars here on a weeknight non-league matchup between the two. Coach Meister, welcome back from Florida. Glad to have you back.
I would say it's nice to be back, but if you've seen the weather the last 2 days, people know that would be very untruthful on my part.
We'd all be insulted if you lied to us and said you were happy to be back up north right now. Well, Lady Bears haven't played since the Holiday Classic. End of the Holiday Classic, not very good for the Lady Bears. Took a thumping from Fairview, so they've had a little time to practice. Looking for a chance to get right tonight against Van Wert, who comes in with some athletic kids, a couple girls averaging double digits, but without a win on the season. Yeah,
I think this is a really important game for the Lady Bears. Obviously, they take a couple on the chin with Genoa and Fairview, but also you look back, they have played really good competition. You've heard me say it a bunch. You want your kids to hang around the barn, they might start smelling like the animals. They play really good competition. You hope those kids have learned from it. I think this is important because I want to see how they respond from taking one on the chin from Fairview, and two, I want to see what they have learned. Will they play to the level of their competition, or will they rise up and play like we know they can?
High school girls basketball, Bryan versus Van Wert in Bryan tonight. Chance for the Golden Bears to get right if they can show up. It's the Bryan Athletic Boosters countdown to tip-off. We'll be back with more after this on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
Discover top-quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real-world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top-quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
This community is more than a place. It's where we celebrate victories and where we lean on one another in times of loss. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're proud to be rooted here, serving with care and compassion when it matters most. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family owned, family focused.
The Bryan Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
Back out at Bryan High School, getting ready for the Lady Bears to host Van Wert in a non-league high school girls basketball game. Today's game is brought to you by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, the Bryan Parks and Rec, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Veterans Services of Williams County, Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, Baldy's Furniture, Stark's Plumbing and Heating, and Field Supply Center. Last meeting, January 7th, 2025, Bryan defeated Van Wert 46-41, and the Lady Bears have won 8 straight in the rivalry. Van Wert's last win coming in February of 2017. So let's look a little bit at our guests coming in from Van Wert County, the Lady Cougars.
The Lady Cougars, they're coached by Mike Dowding this first season, starting out at 0-10. The Cougars average about 33 points a game and allow 51.4. Shooting 28% from the field, 32% from the 2, 23% from the 3, and 61% from the free throw line. As you can see there, they're a team whose shooting woes have hindered them most of the season.
All right, so let's look at some of the measurables here for our Lady Bears as they try to get things started off right in January.
For the Lady Bears, Coach Todd Grosjean is his 19th season, 373 and 205 overall. Lady Bears are averaging 41.9 points a game and allowing just a tad over 44. Coming off a tough loss to Fairview in the BSN Holiday Classic. Like we said, an excellent Fairview team, an excellent Genoa team. Before that, they played Archibald. They've had a stretch of really tough competition. So now we want to see what they have done, what they have learned, and how they're going to apply it to tonight's ball game.
All right, so we are in the Bryan Golden Bears Sports Network countdown to tip-off. We're going to come back, talk about keys to the game, meet our game officials, and get ready for tip-off from Bryan High School.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
Here in Williams County, we believe that no veteran should feel forgotten. Our Veteran Service Office is here to serve, helping with VA claims, pensions, healthcare enrollment, and so much more. We're veterans serving veterans with dignity, honor, and respect. Reach out to us today to see how we can help, because the only veteran we can assist is the one that doesn't contact us.
All right, back at Bryan High School, about 5 minutes left till tip-off between the Lady Bears and the Van Wert Cougars. Let's go ahead and look at the keys to tonight's ball game. Keys to the game brought to you by the Carlin Company Realty and Auctioneers. They've been your hometown real estate company for 45 years. Consistently remain #1 in Williams County and the surrounding area since 2007. Call us for all of your real estate needs.
For Van Wert, the keys to the game is rebounding the ball on both ends of the floor. On the defensive end, finishing off possessions on the offensive end. Again, trying to give themselves some second chances. Defend the Lady Bears' three-point shot. They want to make sure Bryan does not get hot early and finally stop the penetration. Again, Lady Bears are very good and very effective when that ball gets into the paint and they create their offense from the inside out.
That's one of the things the Lady Bears have got to see get better tonight. Besides the shooting woes that have kind of been an issue here lately, they need to attack the basket, get to the free throw line. And that first key for Van Wert's probably going to be something. If it's not one for Coach Grosjean, it's definitely a part of the game plan. Rebound, rebound, rebound. The Lady Bears have really been hurt on the boards the last couple games. So let's look at those keys to the game for the Bryan Lady Bears.
The Lady Bears getting off to a fast start again. They found themselves a couple of times the last 2 or 3 games down early and often. Defend Florence, defend Dowdy, their 2 leading scorers. Florence at 13.1, Dowdy at 10 points a game. Then finally attack their zone and shoot with confidence. I believe shoot with confidence has been on that key virtually every game that we've had. We've talked about how the Lady Bears have struggled a little bit. As a former coach, I would be surprised if Coach Grosjean doesn't do this. When your kids struggle offensively, they've had a trouble getting the flow or slow starts. To try to change things up, I think the Lady Bears are at their best when they get out and pressure and double and create some havoc and get some easy run-out layups early on. I'm anxious to see if he doesn't press them early on because Van Wert is averaging about 14 turnovers a game.
Yeah, and with those 2 good scorers, you want to try to keep them out of their half-court offense as much as you can. But that getting off to that good start is a huge thing for the Bears. That's something that in the games they've played well, first quarter's been strong, and they need that confidence right now. I talked about a get-right game. You know, you got a chance against somebody coming in struggling, haven't won a game yet. You've been struggling. You're at home. You need to find a way to get into some rhythm early, whether that's knocking down shots from outside or forcing turnovers and getting out and being able to run a little bit, or both. You know, we'll take whatever we can get, but something's got to click here for the Lady Bears tonight to find them to get back on the winning side of things.
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
We'll catch up later.
All right, game officials tonight. Game officials are brought to you by Tri-State Vision Center, serving the area since 1977. Contact us at either our Bryan or Montpelier offices for all of your eye care needs. Officials tonight are Mr. Alan Miller, Eric Erickson, and Brandon Floro. This has been the Bryan Athletic Booster Countdown to Tip-Off. Starting lineups and more are coming up on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
From the first whistle to the final buzzer, life is filled with moments that shape us. Moments of victory, of challenge, of community. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're honored to stand by families through every season of life. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family owned, family focused.
Discover great job skills training at Northwest State. With over 50 different programs available, there is something for everyone. Providing hands-on training and education is the community college advantage.
All right, we got about a minute 40 or so till tip-off tonight. So, Coach Meister, a couple last thoughts here as we get ready to watch things go between Bryan and Van Wert.
As you alluded to earlier, Van Wert has 2 scores in double figures. Jaslyn Florence at 13.1 and Amaya Dowdy at 10. Looking at the stats, Florence is a 94% free throw shooter, but she's only getting to the line 17 times the entire season, which is less than 2 times a game. And she's shooting 48 threes total for the year, so she's getting about 5 threes. I think the one thing the Lady Bears don't want to do is they don't want to foul her and put her at the line. Just defend and contest the shooter. And on the other hand, with Amaya Dowdy, she gets to the free throw line almost 5 or 6 times a game. So I think that's one of the things the Lady Bears want to do. She's only shooting about 26, 27% from the free throw line. So you don't want to put her there where you can't guard her. Again, just defend and keep them off the line.
Opportunity here tonight for the Lady Bears to get back on the winning side of things. But I think even more important, obviously, if you play well and do the things you should do, you'll probably get that non-league win tonight. But I think even more important than the win is to play the game the way they know how, to try to find that rhythm. It feels like, even with some wins in that side of the column since the Edgerton game, that Edgerton game on a Monday night back in December was about as smooth as the Bears have played for 4 quarters. And they need to find that, because Delta coming up on Friday night is one of the top teams in the area. Right. Patrick Henry's down the road. Wasion's down the road. Plus, you've got non-league games with Elida and Liberty Benton. So it's time to get into a groove and kind of figure out who we are and how we're going to play the rest of the way out.
You hope you lean on last year a little bit, especially your upperclassmen. You and I remember watching that Napoleon game last year. We just got drubbed. We looked at each other and went, what just happened? And, boy, from that point on, that group just – they took it on the chin, but they're such competitive kids. They came back and just had a tremendous second half of the season. So you think they can lean on that and maybe right the ship with a game like this as well.
All right, we're going to take it down to public address announcer Mr. Aaron Hughes for national anthem and starting lineups. National anthem brought to you tonight by Veteran Services of Williams County.
Gentlemen, welcome to Bryan. In order to make today's contest as enjoyable as possible, please represent your school and community in a positive and respectful manner. That means follow the rules and speak and act responsibly, show courtesy and respect for your fellow fans, the officials and coaches, the administration, authority figures, and of course your team and their opponents. Let's make tonight's contest great. Remember to respect the game and thank you. Now to meet the teams. First for the guests on the scoreboard, the Van Wert Cougars. Starters for Van Wert, number 2, Katie Diamikis. Number 12, Jazz Florence. Number 14, Carly Booyer. Number 21, Amaya Dowdy, sorry. And number 23, Allison Tye. Varsity coaches Mike Dowdy, assisted by Erica Meister and Alexis Burnett.
There you have the starting lineups brought to you by Bryan Ford Lincoln. Bryan Ford Lincoln, located at 920 North Main Street, where good value means a great deal. All right, so ready to throw the ball up here, get action underway from Bryan High School. Bryan and Van Wert, non-league action here tonight. Bryan Lady Bears come in at 6-5. They've only played one league game, 0-1, 1 point loss to Archbold. Van Wert still looking for their first win, 0-10 overall, 0-3 in the WBL. And sophomore Brea Hepker will jump it up against Carly Boyer, senior from Van Wert. Ball goes up, tipped by Hepker to Arnold. Arnold goes at the basket, can't get the shot to go. Chased down by Fisher. Fisher to Hannah, swings to Langham. Open three, left side, bang, and Langham. Lady Bears up 3-0 early on the main stop scoreboard. Great hustle by Avery and Fisher to save the possession, and then a good find. There's a turnover right away by the Bears. Piper Hannah forced the steal. Josie Arnold got it ahead. Found Langham, who finds Piper Hannah. Same spot as Langham, but can't get the three-pointer to go.
Good start for the Lady Bears. They got a great drive off the first pass. They're shooting off the tip. Offensive rebound, made three. Turnover, another good shot. It's the kind of start we want to see the Lady Bears have.
Van Wert works in the backcourt against the Golden Bears full court pressure. Down low. Little seal action there, maybe a moving screen from Van Wert. But a bucket by Carly Boyer. Van Wert's on the board, 3-2. Lady Bears early here in the first quarter on the main stop scoreboard. Arnold up top, trapped by Van Wert. Finds Hannah. She's trapped now. Finds Langham quickly to Hepker underneath. Took a dribble she probably didn't need. Ball finds Avery and Fisher. She'll attack off 1 foot. Rattles in and out, gets her own rebound. Diagonal finds Langham, three-pointer on the way again. Long off back iron, rebound to Fisher. Oh, she can't get the putback to go. And then Arnold and Gieb will battle. That's a held ball underneath the basket. Rebound goes to Van Wert. So some good looks there from the Bears, just can't get the shots to fall.
Yeah, great looks. And as you said, it seems like the lid on that basket from the last few games, but I think that's going to come off this game. They keep getting those quality looks. It's going to go.
Dowdy works it up the left side against the Bears pressure. Ball gets knocked out of bounds by Josie Arnold. Bears will reset their pressure as D'Amicis will inbound in front of her own bench. She gets it into Dowdy, working in the backcourt against Fisher. Splits the trap. Dowdy's got it, finds D'Amicis on the left side. Bears in there man-to-man. Swung back up top to Jasmine Florence, leading scorer for Van Wert. She's got the ball against Piper Hannah. She's got the height advantage, but Piper Hannah quick enough to stay with the Van Wert guard.
Yeah, that's Piper seems to draw our defensive assignments this year and has been tremendous at doing that.
Dowdy got stuck, lost the handle. Langham picked up the ball. She's got it. Hands off to Josie Arnold, three-pointer on the way. Real long, but we're going to count it anyway. Banks it in off glass, a three-pointer for Bryan, and a 6-2 lead for the Lady Bears.
With as tough a luck as that kid's had, she deserves that one.
Every now and then the blind squirrel's got to have some luck. And Van Wert didn't get that one to go. Missed an easy bucket. The Bears have the rebound and they're up the floor. Josie Arnold works right side against Florence. Finds Hannah. Hannah kicks to Langham. Same spot as earlier. Can't get that one to go off back iron. Three-pointer no good. Rebound down to Boyer. Now Dowdy will bring it up, left hand up the floor. She attacks the basket. Great diagonal, but good hustle by Brea Hepker to knock that out of bounds.
Brea Hepker, perfect backside rotation there. Got enough of that ball to flush it off Van Wert. And that's a key to a press. You know, if your backside rotation can rotate like that, your press is way more effective.
And even better, they're going to call that out of bounds off of Van Wert after Hepker broke up the pass. So the Bears have it in the front court. Skip pass from Hannah to Langham. Langham passed up the three. Long skip from Arnold to Hannah from the G. Rattles that three in and out. Looked like it was going to go. Rebound comes down to Van Wert. Florence will push it up the floor against Piper Hannah. Wert tries the right side, can't find anything. Ball gets rattled around a little bit. Now Dowdy's got it up top, swings to D'Amicis. D'Amicis going to attack left against the Bears. Bounce pass baseline to Dowdy, gathers it up in the right corner. She'll bring it back up top. pokes the ball away from her after a switch between Arnold and Fisher. Demekus in front of the Bryan bench. Up top to Florence. Warriors going to try the baseline. Take it away by Hefker. Nice on-the-ball defense there by Brea Hefker. And then the tough pass. Good on-the-ball defense there by the Bears. Boyer tried to force it into Gieb, but Gieb fumbled it out of bounds.
4 minutes in the contest, Lady Bears forced 4 turnovers from Van Wert. We said Van Wert was susceptible to that. Bears doing a nice job of taking advantage of creating some confusion and mishap on the defensive end.
Good defensive pressure so far by the Bears. Lob entry into Amaya Langham gets taken away. That's a tough spot for her to catch that one. Florence will attack left side. Pull-up jumper, no good off back iron. Rebound comes down to Van Wert. And then they're going to call Van Wert dribbling the ball on the end line to be another turnover after a good offensive board. That continues to be an issue. The Lady Bears have given up a lot of offensive rebounds the last few games, and that number's been way bigger than just an anomaly at this point. It's got to be. It's something that's really concerning to the Bryan staff.
I guess it's become an anomaly for 1 or 2 games. It is a concern, and I agree. I think it's become a big concern for the Lady Bears.
Maya Langham gets another look at a 3 from that left wing. Doesn't get it to go, but Miley Vollmer comes down with the rebound. She gets hammered on that. Looks at the baseline official, didn't call it, but the official at half court saw it, and she'll get 2 free throws. Good offensive rebound by Miley Vollmer.
And to me, Miley is a real key because with Kelsey Thiel being injured and being out, you're really down to 2 bigs with her and Brea Hefker. Miley has the athletic ability to do those things, get offensive rebounds, but maybe help us on the defensive rebounding. And too, which you alluded to, is a concern. So I think Miley could play a really big part as this season goes on.
Miley hasn't had a ton of trips to the line, comes in shooting 70% as she misses the first one from the Welling Construction free throw line. Welling Construction, 3rd generation family-owned general contractor. Call us for all of your home renovation, commercial work. It's 419-636-3712. Second free throw is also no good. Van Wert pulls down the rebound. Avery and Fisher trying to turn him over in the backcourt is going to get whistled for a foul. First foul on the Bears, 1 on each team. 3:27 left on the clock in the opening quarter. Bears with their early 6-2 lead. Jesse Kinston will check in to give Avery and Fisher a break. The Bears stay in their full court, man-to-man. Piper Hander stays on Jaslyn Florence, works on her in the backcourt. Florence fires one over the top of Dowdy and out of bounds. Trying to throw it over the top of the trap. Josie Arnold came running at her and she threw it just too tall for Dowdy. Another turnover for Van Wert. Maya Langham will bring it up. Van Wert in some man-to-man, and Maya Langham gets it to Vollmer, attacks left side, finds a cutting Piper Hanna all the way around and went in. Take the lid off of that thing. Piper Hanna with a good attack, but a really nice find by Miley Vollmer with the assist there. 8-2 lead for the Bears.
Great offense by the Bears, great penetration, and great find, good cut by Piper Hanna, just good offense all the way around.
He may have gotten away with the walk right there. It looked like she might have changed the pivot feet a couple of times. As we've got Bella Beam in for Van Wert. Number 3 is on the floor. Piper Hanna again on Florence up top. Miley Vollmer, not quite sure why you would defend so tight, 4 feet behind the 3-point line. I don't think you're concerned with Boyer. Boyer has hit 0 3-pointers on the year as a senior, so I'm going to say she's probably not dangerous from out there.
Yeah, that's when you have to know the position you're in on the floor and who you're guarding and know when to step out and pressure. As you said, when to just keep them in front and not foul.
That's why I do scouting reports. Dowdy's got it up high. Works the left hand versus Arnold. Gets her stopped at the left elbow. Hanna on Florence. Works through a screen. Good job by Piper Hanna right there. Takes the drive away with the left hand. Miley Vollmer then steps in front of that pass. Out by herself, layup up and good. Bears lead out to 10-2. Another Van Wert turnover, and Van Wert wants a timeout. And we are going to get a Van Wert timeout, see if it's full or 30. Just a 30-second timeout, so we'll stay here, talk about this start that we've had, Coach Meister.
I think they've done a really nice job. We talked that maybe he would get them into a full court pressure situation just to try to get your kids active to get into a flow. Could you get a couple turnovers and run out layups? which they have done so. But they've done a nice job in the half-court offense, too. And we saw a couple nice drives and cuts to the basket. They've gotten wide open threes. They haven't made all of them, but again, they've gotten good quality looks. On the defensive end, Piper Hannah's done a great job on releasing score, just making it difficult for all the way around. The other kids have really stepped up and done a nice job. One thing we want to talk about shoring up, though, just continue to have to finish possessions off by rebounding on the defense.
Yes, got to be a lot better in that. Timeouts brought to you, as always, by S&S Directional Boring. When it comes to your home or farm, then make the smart play. From new main water and sewer lines to field drainage, S&S Directional Boring keeps things flowing underground so you can take your time out in peace. S&S does it right the first time. Call 419-630-0729 today. Van Wert inbounds, comes the length of the floor. Handoff from Florence. Now D'Amicis has it up top. Thought about the three. Now she's going to take it. Bears got confused and lost in their defense, and she makes it pay. Maya Langham and Jessie Kidston got lost, and neither one stayed with the ball. Three-point shot, first one of the night for Van Wert. Miley Vollmer, good attack. Gets it to Arnold, finds Langham in the paint, and Langham finishes off the glass. Good ball movement there by the Bears, something that could really improve for them as well. 12-5, the Bears lead on the main stop scoreboard.
Excellent ball movement, excellent find by Josie Arnold. Nice finish by Amaya Langham.
Dowdy gets it to Florence. Florence with her first look of the night, 15-footer, right elbow, can't go. Let's say Bears didn't get the rebound, but the rebound went off of Dowdy underneath, or Boyer maybe. But either way, it's Golden Bears ball. We get a couple of subs. Kidston, Vollmer, and Langham will sit as Fisher, Miller, and Hepker are in. Miller's first time on the floor tonight for the Bears. Van Wert continues to trap. Good in and out play right there. Arnold with the three right side, long. Good rebound by Emmy Miller, and then loses the handle. Avery and Fisher finds it. She gets it out to Arnold. Try the three again, same spot, way long. Rebound again to Fisher. Fisher off glass. Nice finish there by Avery and Fisher. Good activity by her for two big plays, a steal and an offensive rebound to save the possession. A good rotation there by Brea Hepker. Dowdy tries to fire it up the sideline. Brea Hepker takes that away. 43 seconds left in the opening quarter. Bears lead 14-5 on the main stop scoreboard. Ball inbounded to Florence up top. She finds Dowdy. Back to Florence off the back screen. Had an ISO against Piper Hannah. Now she'll go. Takes a dribble away. D'Amicis around Fisher. Fisher gets the rebound. She'll look ahead to Arnold. Arnold finds Brea Hepker. Brea Hepker thought about where she wanted to go. Kick to Fisher. Fisher's three on the way, and good. Good ball movement in and out, back to Fisher. Big shot, 17-5, Bears lead. 12 seconds and ticking on the clock here at the end of the first. Dowdy throws over the top of the trap. Florence works it to Boyer. Boyer says, I'm going to the hoop. And we're going to get a foul, I think, on Emmy Miller. Good attack by Boyer. She's been aggressive every time she's had the ball.
She has. She did a nice job of realizing she had Emmy Miller out of defensive position and just got in front of her to get a clear path to the basket. Nice, strong move.
First foul on Miller, third on the Bears. So with 2.3 seconds left on the scoreboard, Van Wert with a chance to cut it in this 12-point lead. Boyer comes in, the senior averaging 2 points and 3 rebounds a game. Her first free throw is short. Big for the Bears here to make sure they get a body on somebody. Don't give up an offensive rebound, an easy put back with 2 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, this is one where you want Josie Arnold to pinch with Hepner, and you want Piper Hannah to take the shooter. That would minimize those offensive rebound chances.
Second free throw from Boyer. Up, and that is also short. Rebound by Arnold, and she'll fling one a little bit. Little short, but at the end of one quarter, Lady Bears lead 17-5 on the main stop scoreboard. We'll be back after this on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
Fallen on hard times? At the Williams County Veteran Service Office, we're here when life gets tough. We provide emergency financial assistance for housing, food, and utilities, plus transportation to VA medical appointments. Whether you need help today or just someone who understands, we're ready to serve. Please reach out to see what we can do for you, because the only veteran we can't assist is the one that doesn't contact us.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here
and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Trust is built when we know someone has our back, on the field, in the stands, and in life. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're more than a service provider. We're neighbors and friends. For generations, families have trusted us to care for their loved ones with compassion and dignity.
Back at Bryan High School, ready to start second quarter action. Lady Bears lead Van Wert 17-5 on the main stop scoreboard. Main stops open when you need them. You're always near a main stop. Don't forget Thirsty Thursday every Thursday at the main stops. On the floor for the Bears, Josie Arnold, Amaya Langham, Piper Hanna, Brea Hepker, and Avery Ann Fisher. So starters on the floor. For Van Wert, we've got Demekus and Dowdy and Florence, and then a couple of subs. Number 22, Elia Blackmore's on the floor for the first time. Long skip from Arnold, finds Langham. Left side three is good. Amaya Langham starts the second quarter the way she started the first quarter by knocking down a three. Gets the lead to 15 for the Lady Bears.
Nice job of the Bears of passing out of the trap and finding the open teammate.
Blackmore works it up the sideline, picks up her dribble, finds Florence, working up high against Piper Hanna. She's going to be tired of seeing Piper Hanna. Piper Hanna's done a good job against the leading scorer for Van Wert.
She's been terrific. She's denied her the ball when she's had to. She's played her in the post.
Nice runner
played
there.
Her all over.
Elia Blackmore just off the bench, averages 0.3 points a game, and she's got 2. Avery Ann Fisher attacks the hoop. She's going to draw some contact. Good attack by Avery Ann, and that's where Lady Bears are good when Avery Ann Fisher's attacking the basket, getting a good look. She knocked down a three earlier. She hit something off glass. Now she's at the free throw line. And this is when the Lady Bears have got things going on all cylinders offensively.
Yeah, and that's why you run the floor like she did. I mean, she wasn't worried about the made basket when it went through. She put her head down and ran, got out in front. And a nice job of finding her.
First free throw is up and good from the Welling Construction free throw line. Avery Ann Fisher comes in at just under 80% from the free throw line. And if you can believe it, that's a little low for her from where she was last year. So chance to build that average back up. Second free throw is also good. Bears lead 22-7, about a minute into the second quarter on the main stop scoreboard over Van Wert. Van Wert inbounds. Demekus runs into a trap, gets it back to Florence. Looks off of a screen. Natalie Krieger in for Van Wert. Blackmore with the ball again, scored her last time down. That time right hand taken away by Amaya Langham, gets stuck. Then Demekus, nice backside cut. And there's that problem again. Lady Bears not boxing out. There's just a whole lot of eyes that go to the rim instead of eyes going and finding bodies. And I know that's something the Lady Bears work on a lot, and they just have got to get better. There's nothing about rebounding other than effort. You got to rebound. Van Wert will inbound underneath their own basket, throw it in deep to Demekus, and she'll take a deep three, knock it down, 3 feet behind the line. Kate Demekus, she comes in averaging 3 points a game. She's got 6 already, the senior. Bears lead to 12.
That was deep. That was 23, 24 feet, and it wasn't a push. It was a shot.
Piper Hanna tries to answer from deep, and Brea Hepker gets a rebound. She can't get the chippy to go. Lady Bears still a little bit cold. Lady Bears press in the backcourt. Josie Arnold knocked it away from Demekus. And then it looked like she knocked it away again, but they're going to call it out of bounds off of Katie Demekus, so another turnover for Van Wert.
Nice hustle by Arnold there, making that play, giving the Bears an extra possession.
She inbounds to Amaya Langham, who'll get it up top and set the offense against Van Wert's man-to-man. Ball goes to Fisher on the right side in front of the Van Wert bench. Picks up her dribble, trying to get it to Hepker. Piper Hanna. Good attack in the middle, ball gets poked away. Josie Arnold's going to try a deep three around the rim and out. Avery Ann Fisher, another offensive rebound, another putback. Great activity by Avery Ann Fisher. Continues to find the basketball on that end. Leads 14 for the Lady Bears, 24-10.
Yeah, I believe that's her second or third basket she's made just on a hustle play tonight, beating people down the floor, beating someone to the offensive rebound.
Dowdy in the right corner works against Arnold, brings it up to the wing. She's going to push the middle with the left hand. And she's going to get fouled. We got to reach in on Josie Arnold. That'll be her first. Second of the quarter for the Bears. 5:30 left here in the half. Lady Bears lead 24-10, and Van Wert will inbound underneath their own basket. Avery and Fisher about got to that. D'Amicis tries to dribble through some traffic, ends up going off Langham's foot into Fisher's hands. Finds Miley Vollmer,
Nice
who
take.
goes with an attitude to the hoop. I dare you to stand in front of that, and Miley Vollmer attacks. Coach Dowdy not happy about that, but I'm not sure I'm staying on the tracks either when I see that train coming at me. Timeout by Van Wert. I think we're going to end up, we're going to go full timeout. We'll take one with them here on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
The historic Bryan Arts and Education building is being renovated for the next generation, transforming it into a welcoming, accessible space where performances and events can be comfortably enjoyed. The $6.2 million project adds lobby and backstage space, new seating, lights and sound system, accessibility, and additional parking. Because here in Bryan, art connects us. Your support, big or small, makes a lasting impact, inspiring generations to come. Donate and learn more at bryanarts.org.
This community is more than a place. It's where we celebrate victories and where we lean on one another in times of loss. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're proud to be rooted here, serving with care and compassion when it matters most. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family owned, family focused.
I am blind, but I need not see. I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free.
Back at Bryan High School, Van Wert inbounds after the S&S directional boring timeout. Dowdy's got it, works right baseline, cut off by Arnold, and then a little nickel dimer out there on Miley Vollmer. Elia Blackmore happy to come up with all of her appendages. Miley a little out of control there, attacking outside again, defending way beyond the three-point line with a player who has not made a three-pointer this year.
Yeah, that's the second time she got caught closing out real hard on someone she didn't need to close out that hard on.
Lobbed in from Blackmore to Dowdy. Blackmore sets her feet for three, can't get it to go. Arnold and Dowdy battle for the rebound. Dowdy ends up with the basketball. Another offensive rebound allowed by the Bears. Dowdy hands off to Gieb. Back up to Blackmore. Blackmore works against Amaya Langham. Takes away that right hand, pokes it away. Jesse Kidston checked into the game for the Bears. Gets it ahead to Piper Hanna. Finds Fisher, who finds Arnold. Wide open three, top of the key, and there she found the range. Josie Arnold knocks down the three. Lady Bears lead 29-10 on the main stop scoreboard and back into their full court pressure.
She looks so good when she gets her feet square and her shoulders square. Just a terrific looking jump shot by Josie.
Dowdy takes a three, back iron. Nobody on Gieb, but it goes off her hands out of bounds. So Lady Bears, 4:13 left in the half, 19-point lead, had a 17-5 lead after one, is 29-10 now. Good offense so far for them. I like the way the ball's moving a little bit better tonight from the Lady Bears for sure.
I agree. They've done a great job of making the extra pass, finding the open person. Van Wert switching to a zone here. I was just going to say, I wouldn't be surprised if they switched up defenses.
Long three by Piper Hanna doesn't go. Jesse Kidston kept it alive, found guess who? Avery and Fisher. And she can't get the shot from the left block to go, but she's fouled. And that foul's going to be on Allison Gieb, her second. Second on Van Wert this quarter. Avery and Fisher's second trip to the free throw line. Fisher's first free throw is up and good. 10 points already for the sophomore. Leading scorer for the Bears comes in averaging 13.5 a game and 6 boards to go with it. Piper Hanna will take a break. Bray Hepker checks in for her, and we'll see who Coach Grosjean goes with to guard Jaslyn Florence as the second free throw goes. 31-10, the Bears lead on the main stop scoreboard. Looks like Amaya Langham has drawn that assignment. Florence has it in the backcourt. Lefty attacks left, throws over the top to Dowdy. I think Jesse Kidston tried to get there to draw the charge, just a step late. She's going to get called for a block.
Nice attack by Dowdy there. Saw she had the angle of the basket. Got it, nice strong move. They're going to call that on the floor though, not a shooting foul.
Next foul for the Bears will put Van Wert on the line the rest of the half. Blackmore turns it over, tried to get that one back. Threw it, said please come back, ended up in Kidston's hands, so another turnover for Van Wert. The Bears are working against that 2-3 zone from Van Wert.
And this is the point of the game. You'd really like to see the Lady Bears put their foot on the gas, get this 21-point lead to 25 or 28. Just really try to take some of the sap out of Van Wert of having any thoughts of coming back.
Jesse Kidston, open three, left side, short off front iron. Using Avery Ann Fisher in the high post at the free throw line right there, and she's doing a good job of finding shooters. Kidston turned down the first one. Second one just short off iron, one out of bounds, so Van Wert will have the ball, bring it up the floor. 3:15 left. Deflection in the backcourt, but Van Wert comes up with it. Fisher was able to get her hands on the pass from Florence. Florence works at the hoop, running right-hander, a little wild, doesn't go. Ball loose on the floor, ends up with it in Dowdy's hands. D'Amicis, top of the three key, it doesn't go. Right back to D'Amicis, and she gets it again. So 2 offensive rebounds for Van Wert, ends up with an easy 2 points. Katie D'Amicis has 8. Now it gets it to a 31-12 score for the Bears. And offensive rebounding continues to be a bugaboo for the Lady Bears. Josie Arnold now in the high post, back to Fisher at the top of the key. Langham left side 3, way long. And that's going to go out of bounds off of Blackmore from Van Wert on the backside. Piper Hanna's going to check in for Amaya Langham. The Bears are getting good looks, and they've knocked down some threes, but boy, you'd like to see it be a little bit more consistent, because I'll bet that shooting percentage is still not going to be real good when we look at the three-point number. Easy inbound play, but I think we're going to get a moving screen called on Brea Hepker. That's the only one who was down there. Piper Hanna made the shot off the inbounds play, but we're going to get a moving screen called on Brea Hepker. I can't say that I saw it to contest it one way or the other.
I did not see it either. I was too focused on the out-of-bounds play and a nice pass. I didn't see what's happening on the weak side block.
It's a good call by the official. He knows we're all watching the ball.
Yes.
So no one, maybe Brea's mom, I don't know anybody else that was just watching Brea Hepker.
Guess what? The other 2 officials were watching the ball as well.
Same thing. They're like, good call. Would have never guessed.
Would have never guessed it.
Van Wert gets it across the timeline. Geeb tries a diagonal, through some pressure, throws it to Avery Ann Fisher. She gets it to Arnold, right side to the right corner. Piper Hanna into Hepker. She draws a lot of contact and company. Can't get it to go. Chased down by Jesse Kidston. Avery Ann Fisher skip pass to Josie Arnold, who attacks. She gets fouled. Going to be on the floor. Good look by Avery Ann Fisher. That's a foul on Blackmore, her first, Van Wert's third. 2 minutes left in the first half. Lady Bears lead 31-12 on the main stop scoreboard. Josie Arnold will inbound. Finds Brea Hepker coming down. Another look from up close. 2 looks from up close. Brea Hepker just can't take the lid off of that. She's gotten some bunny looks and just can't get the ball to go. Florence throws the ball away. Avery Ann Fisher comes up with another steal for the Bears. She finds Brea Hepker, who's in a whole lot of gray jerseys. Drops it off to Langham, to Fisher. Back to Hepker. Great look. Can't get the chippy to go again, but we are going to get a foul called on this one. She got a chance to get over to the free throw line, see the ball go through the net, hopefully. Really good ball movement there by the Lady Bears. Some unselfish offensive play.
I think it's the last 2 possessions or last 3 possessions. They have done 2 things that have stood out to me. Their backside rotation on that press, once again, getting that cross-court pass when it looks like someone's open, they're not, and then transitioning down here and finding the open person. They haven't come away with a couple baskets. Boy, they got great looks when they pushed it after a turnover.
Hepker's first free throw is up and good. Brea Hepker was a full-time JV player until about 4 games ago, and then with the Bears needing a little bit of help inside, she's come along and not only giving good minutes, but now in the starting lineup. Had a great game against Toledo Bowser in the first round of the Holiday Classic against bigger post players, and continues to work really hard on both ends as her second free throw does not go. Dowdy gets the rebound, works it up the floor against the Bears. Dowdy gets it to Blackmore. She finds Geeb at the free throw line. Hand off to Leah Kreitz in the game. Leah Kreitz, another JV player that's on the floor for Van Wert right now. Bella Beam works against Fisher. Blackmore's shot fake, no good. Langham takes the right hand away. Hepker, great job walling off Geeb in the post, and she turns it over. The Bears force another turnover. Ball quickly up. Left side 3 from Arnold, no good. I think that's a little bit of a sell, though. I think she had Brea Hepker on the backside or a drive. Fisher's 3 is good. Left side 3. Avery Ann Fisher knocks down her second. 14 for the sophomore, 35-12 lead for the Bears. Bears stay in their pressure. Dowdy works off a screen in the backcourt. Crosses over, do a little contact out there. Kreitz attacks. Gieb goes baseline. And she's going to be fouled on the shot. I think she got baseline and then it gets fouled by Josie Arnold. That'll be her second. 30.9 left on the clock. Gieb will go to the Welling Construction free throw line. Welling Construction, third generation family-owned general contractor. For quality custom homes, renovation projects, and commercial work, contact us at 419-636-3712.
Yeah, that's one. I don't know that that was a foul. I don't know they called on the right player. I think Josie got caught in a bad spot. That's probably one of those where she just needs to completely back off, not even get herself involved in the play. Feel bad for her, though, because I do not think she really even tried to make a play on the ball.
Yeah, got close enough that when the whistle was blown, you were the last man standing.
Yeah.
The first free throw goes for Gieb, but she comes in averaging 2.5 a game and 3 rebounds as a senior starter on this Van Wert team. Second free throw was good, but she stepped across the free throw line. She was really charging after that shot. Must have thought it was a little flat, must have thought it was going to go off front iron. She tried to chase down the miss that didn't happen. So the bucket's no good. 35-13, 30 seconds left on the clock. Van Wert stays in their 2-3 zone. Langham, Hannah, Fisher, Hepker, and Kidston on the floor for the Bears. Fisher at the high post, kicks opposite to Langham, swing back around the horn to Hannah. Hannah's got it. Left-hand pass is turned over at the top of the key, and then Jessie Kidston fighting for possession. Takes it out of Blackmore's hands, but we're going to get a jump ball. So Van Wert will have the ball here, 9.9 left in the half. Biggest thing probably for the Lady Bears is just nobody foul here. Make Van Wert work for a tough shot with 10 seconds left here. Play some good defense. If you can force a turnover and a quick shot, even better.
One where everybody stays in front of you. If they shoot it over top of you and make it, they shoot over top of you.
Ball gets inbounded, get to Gieb on the baseline. She fires up an errant shot a little too quick. Avery Ann Fisher comes down with it, tries to heave one the length of the floor, doesn't go. So that'll get us to halftime here in Bryan. Lady Bears, good first half. They lead 35-13 on the main stop scoreboard. Coach Meister look a little bit better offensively for the Lady Bears, and you got to be happy with the way things are going on the defensive end for sure.
Yeah, like you said, they probably haven't made as many shots as they wanted to, but boy, they've had great ball movement. They've gotten great looks on the offensive end. Defensively, they've done a terrific job of never letting Van Wert get comfortable. I think that full court pressure has really bothered Van Wert. Even when they break it, they have not been able to get any type of offense. So I think it's exactly how the Lady Bears want to come out and play. If I have a little bit of a critique, it's probably nitpicking. We said it was like 29-10 or 30-10. Boy, let's step on them and try to get this thing to 25 or 28. They got it to 22. They had some missed opportunities, but again, in the big picture, got to be really pleased with how they played this first half.
Right, you're not going to look at much and say, boy, this should have been, this wasn't very good, or this wasn't very good. The only thing we could look at this point is say, make some chippies, make those bunnies. We've missed a bunch of shots in the paint. Barry Hepker's going to wish he had about 5 or 6 of those shots back, but she's also got the ball down there because she's being active on the offensive boards, and all the Bears have been really active on the offensive boards. Like to see the same kind of effort put on the defensive end, so that I'm sure that's getting stressed at the half because offensive rebounds given up is still an issue, and it's going to be a problem when you play teams that are bigger. Van Wert's bigger than us in a couple places, but not so big that they're going to just reach over the top of us. We've got to get better at putting bodies on people.
And I think tonight what I've seen is we've been in position to get defensive rebounds, but like you said, shot goes up, it's eyes to the basket. And rebounding is a shot goes up, eyes go to the person you box them out, then go find the ball. I think it's just some little things the Bears have to shore up on.
All right, well, about 8.5 minutes left here on the halftime clock. We're going to take a break as we watch the 6th grade girls play some halftime basketball and entertain the crowd. We'll be back after this on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
The Bryan Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
If you served, you may qualify for VA health care, even if you were denied before. New rules recognize burn pit and toxic exposure claims. We can help you apply, understand benefits, and access the care you've earned. Let us help protect your health. Today and for the future, contact us to see how we can help. Williams County Veterans Service Office. Veterans serving veterans.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
Back at halftime here at Bryan High School, Lady Bears lead Van Wert 35-13 on the main stop scoreboard. Tonight's ball game is brought to you by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Bryan Parks and Rec, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Veteran Services of Williams County, Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, Baldy's Furniture, Starks Plumbing and Heating, and Thiel Supply Center. All right, so we've got some stats in here for both teams. Take a second here and look at how we got to this point in the ball game. Bears with a 22-point lead here at the half.
Have a little discussion with my statistician here. We've got numbers all over this paper. I'm not very good with math anyways, and now she's got me three sets of things.
We're just going to focus on the screen.
Yeah,
just focus on the screen.
Thank you, I'll do that. Let's look at the first half stats for the Van Wert Lady Cougars. 5 of 15 for shooting overall, 3 from 11 from the 2, and 2 for 4 from the 3, 1 for 3 from the free throw line. 14 turnovers. They came into the game averaging 14 for a game. The Bears have turned them over 14 times in the first half, which is huge. 5 offensive rebounds by the Lady Cougars, 5 defensive rebounds. For the Lady Bears, a little better on the shooting end, 11 for 32, 6 for 13 from the 2, 5 for 19 from the 3, 5 for 8 from the free throw line, only turned it over 3 times. They themselves have gotten 13 offensive rebounds and use the word active. I really like that terminology because I believe that's exactly what they've done. Been very, very active on all fronts, and 6 defensive rebounds. Again, if we're going to nitpick, probably don't want to give up 5 offensive rebounds in the half, 10 offensive rebounds in the game. But again, those are things that they just need to shore up in a good time in the second half, like you said, to really focus on that and have that be a point of emphasis in halftime.
Well, every coach that goes in at the half, it doesn't matter whether it's high school girls basketball or Major League Baseball or a football coach in the NFL, you want something to be able to tell your team when you're up big and you look like things are going great that, hey, we got to work on this and get better. So you know they're talking about that right now at halftime. You got some individual scores over there too?
Yep, absolutely. Let's look at Van Wert first. Allison Gieb with 1, Aliyah Blackmore with 2, Carly Boyer with 2, Katie D'Amicis leads Van Wert with 8 points. For the Lady Bears, Piper Hanna with 2, Brea Hepker with 1, Miley Vollmer with 4, Josie Arnold with 6, Amaya Langen with 8, and led by Avery Ann Fisher with an outstanding first half with 14 points.
And a big number there individually. 2 leading scorers for Van Wert have not scored. Dowdy and Florence are held scoreless. That's 23 points a game right there. The Van Wert's not getting out of their 2 leading scorers.
Yeah, and a terrific job by the Lady Bears defensively all the way around. Certainly we talked about Piper Hanna having to guard Florence most of that half. You know, I don't hate to say that you and Coach Junker ever taught me anything, but I know one of the things that I learned we talked about when we were coaching, you guys would talk about offensive play in football and how offensive lines would lean on defenses. You would use that term with me. You'd say just lean on them, and all of a sudden you get to the third or fourth quarter and they're just tired of getting leaned on, and that's when your defensive and offensive lines take over. I think it's a little bit we've seen that with Piper and with other Lady Bears who take on the other team's better defenders. They just get tired of seeing them. They get tired of them getting leaned on. They get tired of getting their passing lanes denied. They get tired of having hands when they try to dribble. At some point, they just get tired of leaning on. And I think we've seen that with the 2 leading scorers with Van Wert tonight.
You definitely get tired of seeing that same face up in your grill and all over you everywhere you go. And our girls have done a good job of that so far, frustrating those 2 players. Well, it's halftime here at Bryan. We got about 3 minutes left. Our 6th grade girls are just finishing up their second chance to play tonight. They played at halftime of the JV game as well. So we'll be back, talk about some halftime adjustments, and get you ready for second half action here from Bryan.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State. Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
From the first whistle to the final buzzer, life is filled with moments that shape us. Moments of victory, of challenge, of community. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're honored to stand by families through every season of life. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family owned, family focused.
Allie Held Herman is a 2004 Bryan graduate and former Lady Bear basketball player. Allie tragically passed away in 2021, but she saved the lives of many others through organ donation. Allie's family encourages you to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor.
Our mom gave the gift of life. She is a hero. We love you, Mom.
All right, we're back at Bryan High School. About 2 minutes left here till we start off the second half. Coach Meister, let's talk quickly here. Some halftime adjustments. Let's start with Van Wert. Big hole coming out, down 22 at the half on the road. What's Coach Dowdy telling his troops?
I think two things have to happen for Van Wert. One is they have to handle the pressure better than what they did. 14 turnovers in one half. That would equate to 28 for an entire game. You're just not going to be successful offensively when you turn the ball over that much. And then coming in, they weren't averaging a whole lot of points anyways. And your two leading scorers, you were averaged 23 or 24 of your 33 points a game. They have been held scoreless. I think you're going to have to run some sets, do some things to try to get those kids involved, because if they don't score, you have no chance to be successful offensively.
All right, and if you're Coach Grosjean, Coach Walker, Coach Rufer, what are those guys telling the girls at the half?
I think two things. One is let's continue to do what we've done. Let's keep the pressure up. Let's keep moving the basketball on offense, finding the open man. Two, I'm going to go back to what you talked about from the beginning of the game. Let's make a goal that we give up 2 or less offensive rebounds this half. And you talk to them about make sure you do fundamental things. Shot goes up, eyes on your person, body on your person, turn and find the ball. Those are the two things. If I'm him, those are what I'm focusing on this half. And maybe a third thing is I want to step on them. I want to step on their neck. I want to put the foot on the gas pedal. I want this game to be out of hand by the end of the third quarter. It's a long second half of the season. Maybe rest some of your kids, maybe get some of those kids on the end of the bench in. But more importantly, let's have that killer instinct where we just put an end to this game and end it by the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. All right, let's check some out-of-town scores here as the last couple seconds tick off of the clock for the second half of tonight's ball game. Second half scores brought to you by Matthew Clark first and foremost. Girls final tonight, Continental beat Ayersville 47-45. At the half, Wayne Trace leads Delta 20-16, and that's a big one as far as the Lady Bears are concerned. At the half, Paulding leads, girls half time score, Paulding leads Crestview 25-18. And a boys score, Stryker at the half leads Hicksville 35-20. One more halftime score, another NWAL team, Defiance leads Wauseon 20-15. No one covers Williams County sports like 100.9 B-Rock. Follow Bryan Golden Bear Sports all season long on Q96.5. Listen on air, online, or at WBNO, WQCT.com.
We're going to need a nickname for Matthew Clark. I mean, ESPN had Chris the Bear Felica. Now they got Stanford Steve. We're going to work on that.
I've got a couple, but you can't say any of them over the air and not get in trouble. So
yes,
we got to keep that.
It's a family production.
It is. There's children. Children are listening. Lady Bears get the opening possession of the second half. Starters on the floor. Fisher, great pass, finds Josie Arnold. 8-footer doesn't go off back iron. She gets a rebound, misses another rebound, misses a third shot. Impressive start to a possession there to miss 3 shots from about 8 feet each. Shooting percentage continues to skyrocket.
On the positive, 2 offensive rebounds.
2 offensive rebounds, pad the stats. Bears have it out of bounds after one out of bounds off of Van Wert. Amaya Langham attacks in the lane with the left hand. She's fouled. She'll go to the free throw line and shoot 2 free throws for the Welle Construction free throw line.
I think as this season's wore on, I watched Amaya Langham get really a lot better. When she gets her shoulders by her defender, she kind of leans back into him and draws contact.
That's always been a big part of her game, is being able to get the ball to the basket. Never going to be the tallest kid on the floor, but she's always been strong, and she's been able to finish, and she can play with both hands. She plays just about as smooth with her left as she does with her right, which makes her dangerous around the rim. First free throw was good. Second free throw is also good. Langham comes in averaging 7. She's up to 10, shooting 70% from the free throw line. And Lady Bears go back to their pressure with a 37-13 lead. Dowdy dribbles through some trouble, finds Florence. She thought about the jump shot, didn't take it, came down and landed, and didn't get called for a travel. Fisher came up with the ball, but ended up on her back, and then Boyer will tie her up for a jump ball. Don't see that very often. The shooter jumped, came down, and no call. Official stop play here so Avery Ann Fisher can tie her shoe. 7:16 left in the third quarter, just underway in the second half. Here in Bryan, Lady Bears lead Van Wert 37-13. Avery Ann Fisher gets her shoe tied, and Van Wert goes immediately into their out-of-bounds play. Comes into Boyer, back to D'Amicis, left side three, no good. Dowdy gets the offensive rebound, spin move, left hand off glass, no good. Oh my. Grabbed her own rebound, and then the ball just taken out of her hands by Avery Ann Fisher, but I think we're going to get a shooting foul called on Fisher. We're going to call a shooting foul on Avery Ann, her second foul, first one of the quarter for the Bears, and that will put Maya Dowdy at the line. Comes in shooting 61% from the line, averages 10 and 4 on the season. This is her chance to get off the goose egg. First free throw for Dowdy is good from the Welling Construction free throw line. Her first point of the night. Second free throw about to come. That one's also good. So Dowdy's got 2, leads back to 22 for the Lady Bears. As Piper Hannah will bring it across the timeline and work against Van Wert pressure. Josie Arnold's got it up high, directing a little bit of traffic. Langham finds her. Arnold's got it left side. Swing to Hannah. Hannah to Langham. High post elbow to Fisher. She skips to Arnold. Left side three is up and good. Josie Arnold with 9 on 3 threes tonight. She was just too close before, Coach Meister.
She was way too close. Again, we talk about it. When we find open shooters and our shooters get set and square, we're really good shooters. We just have to continue to get to that point.
Able to attack all the way to the basket. Gieb comes off of a checkout by the Bears, gets an offensive rebound, and then finds Florence. Second chance leads to 3 points from Van Wert, and it's 40-18. But I know it's frustrating from here, and I know it's way frustrating from down there that the Lady Bears cannot rebound defensively. They just refuse to stay on checkouts, and that's, if they want to win some ball games and beat a good team down the stretch, that's something that has to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. You just can't give good team, can't give any team, 2 and 3 chances every offensive possession. It just comes back to haunt you.
So Florence is on the board for the first time tonight. Hepker finds Arnold, lost the handle. She'll pull up in the paint, knocks down the 10-footer. Good stop and pop by Josie Arnold there. 42-18 the Bears lead, just under 6 in the third quarter.
She just wanted you to know she wasn't too close.
It's about time she did something. D'Amicis lines up, left side three, off front iron, doesn't go. Fisher and Dowdy fight for it on the backside. Ball goes out of bounds off Avery and Fisher. So Van Wert will get another shot with an inbound underneath their basket.
Just what we talked about. You give teams 2 offensive possessions on one end of the floor. It's just hard. Eventually, those teams are to come back and score.
Inbounds play finds Florence. Backside three is no good. That was a pretty good job checking out by Avery and Fisher. They don't call Dowdy for the push from behind, but they're going to call Fisher for the foul as Dowdy was trying to put the putback up. So that'll be 3 on Fisher. Second one. And Coach Grosjean, I think, is right on that one. That's a good check out by Fisher. She didn't get the whistle, went the wrong way on that. So Dowdy is at the line, first free throw off front iron, ball don't lie. 5:40 left here in the third quarter. Miley Vollmer will check in. Avery and Fisher will take a seat with that third foul.
Yeah, that's a tough third on Avery Ann.
Yeah, she's just working hard trying to check out. That Van Wert player was, that there is no over the back. Everybody understands that, but there's still the push when you're working hard to rebound and getting reached over the top of your head. Dowdy knocks down her second free throw. She's a junior. Junior has 3 points on the night, averaging 10 on the year a game. Arnold swings to Vollmer on the right side. He gets it to Langham. I give Van Wert a lot of credit. They're still defending hard in the half court. The ball gets poked out of Hannah's hands. She finds Langham. 3 is rattled and down. That's a ball that normally comes out for the Lady Bears. Maya Langham with another bucket. She's got 13. 3 Bears in double digits now. as Dowdy works it up the floor. Ball gets poked away, but ends up in freshman Flannery Foster's hand. She's in the ball game. And there's a good check out there from Miley Vollmer. If you're going to check out, you want to get rewarded. And Miley Vollmer gets rewarded. I think Flannery went over the back. Flannery Foster, the girl with 2 last names. I'm going to keep screwing that one up. I could call her Foster Flannery.
Either way.
Either way.
She was in the Army, that's what they call her.
Played a nice game. I tell you, the Bryan JVs played a great game tonight. Big win over Van Wert in the opener. Game was tied at 11, ended up 55-17. The JVs won, led by Bree Richmond's 18 points. Claire Struble had 10. Josie Arnold, great bounce pass there with the left hand to Brea Hepker. Brea Hepker finishes that one off glass.
Bears have done a great job of getting into the paint and making great passes when they draw the defender, making 2-play-1 and finding the open person.
Dowdy working left side, now gets the middle. She'll try a runner in the paint. I think she was just trying to draw some contact. That ball gets poked out of Flannery Foster's hands. It'll stay here with Van Wert. 4:21 left in the third quarter. 47-19, the Bears lead. We'll get a sub in for Van Wert as Boyer will take a break and Jadia Watson will check in. Just one freshman in the program for Van Wert. She's on the floor right now. Flannery Foster, 6-foot freshman, is on the floor, being defended by Miley Vollmer. Dowdy works around a screen, and she'll finish off glass.
That's really the first clean look Dowdy has gotten all night.
Yeah, good screen there set by Foster. No help from the Bears. Arnold hands off to Piper Hanna. Piper Hanna, great attack, great bounce pass. Brea Hepker gets back-to-back buckets off of good looks from guard penetration. That's some good offense that you like to see out of the Lady Bears.
Last 3 possessions, Piper Hanna's gotten in the paint and found the open person. Josie Arnold's gotten in the paint and found the open person. They're just really clicking tonight, finding the open person. Really good offense.
Jaslyn Florence there wanted to get her shot off. Piper Hanna doing a really good job defender. Foster got a step going left, then brought it back to the right hand. Tried to hit a floater. She's fouled instead. Piper Hanna picks up her first. So Florence will get a chance to shoot 2 at the free throw line. First free throw is up and good. Junior is averaging 13. Rough season for Van Wert. No wins on the year. They're down 27 tonight, but your 2 leaders are juniors. You've got some sophomores that are getting some playing time as well. The JVs played hard. Downside for them is they've got 1 freshman in the program. Both free throws are good for Florence. Lady Bears lead 49-23. Langham gets it across to Vollmer. Vollmer bounce pass, finds Piper Hanna. Runner through the lane, easy cut, finishes off glass. Nice find from Miley Vollmer. Piper Hanna finishes.
Very crisp passing, cutting. This half finishing at the basket. Coach Groch can be real pleased offensively so far.
Dowdy works off the screen, can't get the 3 to go. 3 good box outs on the backside by the Lady Bears. Rebound chased down by Langham. Arnold pushes ahead, finds Vollmer, can't get the floater to fall. Tried a little baby hook there.
It was a great move.
It was. You're not going to find too many people more athletic than Miley Vollmer. You just couldn't get that one to go. It's Kidston and Fisher check in. Hepker and Langham take a seat. Hanna, Fisher, Arnold, Vollmer, and Kidston on the floor for the Bears. Dowdy, Demikis, Leah Kreitz on the floor. Arnold's 3 from the corner is good. Out of bounds play, just a little pick and pop out of there. Josie Arnold knocks down the corner 3. Gets the Bears lead to 31 at 54-23. Leah Kreitz has it up top. Finds the cutting, spinning Jadia Watson. Finishes nicely off glass with the right hand. 2 points for the sophomore. Hanna gets it to Arnold. Bears in the half court. Arnold to Fisher. Got to clear out if she wants it. Instead finds Jesse Kidston on the curl. Arnold attacks, hands it back to Kidston. Kidston attacks down the right side. Finds Vollmer. Vollmer attacks, finds Fisher. Fisher's baseline jumper up and good. Good unselfish offense again for the Bears. 16 for Fisher, 56-25. Bears lead with 2 minutes left in the third. Watson, good attack, can't get it to go. Rebound by Kidston. She works through some tough Van Wert defense in the backcourt. Get it across the timeline. Piper Hannah's got it now. She gets it to Arnold, top of the key. She swings to Fisher. Fisher's shot fake is good. Pulls it back up. Kicks to Hannah. Left side three, no good. Sorry, right side three. We're going to get a jump ball call. Good hustle by Jesse Kidston, but Watson had control of it. Van Wert will get it on the jump ball as Emmy Miller checks in for Josie Arnold. 1:34 left on the Main Stop scoreboard. Main Stop's open when you need them. You're always near Main Stop. Don't forget Thirsty Thursday every Thursday. 56-25, Bears lead here with a minute and a half left in the third. Miller takes a big screen from Foster. And then Watson continues to be really aggressive. Sophomores come in off the bench and said, you know what, if I'm going to get my varsity chance, I'm going to get my shots.
She came in the game averaging 2.5, but she has been by far their most aggressive player in the last half of this third quarter, taking the ball to the basket, getting herself square, drawing contact. Good-looking player.
Yeah, and as a youngster, you're getting your opportunity to play some varsity minutes. Why not?
Absolutely.
In a program where you haven't won a ball game yet, you got to believe a lot of spots are open outside of the two kids above you that are the leading scorers. I would say those other spots are open to get some minutes during the game. So if you're a youngster and you got a little bit of game when you're out there, you might as well try to show what you can show.
And it's tough for young kids to understand that, but if you're going to make a mistake, make an aggressive mistake. Don't make a passive mistake. I think that's the thing that young players tend to do more often than not.
Watson makes 1 of 2 from the free throw line. She's got 30-point lead for the Bears. 1:23 left here in the third at Bryan High School. Lady Bears 56, Van Wert 26. Ball gets swung around the horn to Emmy Miller. Attacks left hand, finds Piper Hannah on the kick out to Kidston. And a little zig when we thought she was going to zag, and Miller went for the backdoor cut. Kidston threw it to where she was, throws the ball out of bounds, turnover to the Lady Bears. Dowdy will bring it across the timeline, works against Emmy Miller. Real close to getting the count right there was Emmy Miller. Boy, Dowdy tried to drop a shoulder. That official got real confused. He started to throw his hand in the air like he wanted to call a foul, and then he called a travel. See Dowdy drop her shoulder and just try to draw some contact. Piper Hannah now bring it up against Leah Kreitz. Hand off to Kidston. Fisher on the left side. Push ahead. Miley Vollmer just waited a hair too long, and then Miley needed to hold that. She had her posted. Piper Hannah picks her dribble up around the horn. It gets swung to Miller. Miller tries to get it into Vollmer. Ball gets poked out of bounds by Watson. Van Wert, she's been playing hard.
Good look, Emmy Miller there. Right idea.
I like the idea of trying to get Miley Vollmer some touches here. That hasn't happened a lot for the Bears this year, of getting really anybody post touches, but Miley Vollmer especially, as athletic and strong as she is. Vollmer can't get it to, Hannah couldn't get it to go, but Kidston rebounded, found Vollmer outside the three-point line. She gets fouled on the shot, so she's going to get 3 free throws from the Welling Construction free throw line. Miley Vollmer comes in averaging 4 and 2, shooting 70% from the free throw line. I think she's been there for 2 tonight already. Oh boy. Miley Vollmer banks in that free throw. Now, I've been coaching Miley since probably 1st and 2nd grade basketball, back to kindergarten clinics. She hasn't banked in too many free throws.
I hope she banks in the next 2.
If I had to bet, I'd say she'd probably swish it. A little long off back iron for Vollmer. Good hustle again by Avery and Fisher. She saves it, finds Vollmer, corner 3, doesn't draw anything. Chased down by Piper Hannah. Finds Fisher to Kidston, and the Bears still in possession of the basketball after some great hustle. There's a great touch on the block, up and under move. To Kevin McHale on the block from Miley Vollmer. Guarantee she has no idea what that means if I told her. Her dad would. Scotty was proud of that move right there. And you watch Cooper Vollmer, her brother, play some JV basketball. You talk about a kid as a freshman in high school who has some good old school post moves. Cooper Vollmer does a great job on the block. He's going to be a good one for the Bears the next couple of years, especially if we can talk him into keep growing. I hope he decides to do that.
Comes down to coaching if he grows.
That's right. Exactly.
I think the Bears, like you said, they've made a conscientious effort to get the ball inside to Miley. I think we're going to see if she can be, how effective she can be down in that post area.
And there she goes. Missed the first free throw, made the second. So in that trip, Miley was real active, ends up 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Bears up with a second left on the clock. Runner by Dowdy through Emmy Miller is good. So that'll make it a 30-point lead at the end of 3 quarters. Bears lead 58-28 on the main stop scoreboard. We'll take a break. We'll be back for the fourth quarter action here on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
Discover great job skills training at Northwest State. With over 50 different programs available, there is something for everyone. Providing hands-on training and education is the community college advantage.
Trust is built when we know someone has our back, on the field, in the stands, and in life. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're more than a service provider. We're neighbors and friends. For generations, families have trusted us to care for their loved ones with compassion and dignity.
The Bryan Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
All right, back at Bryan High School, Lady Bears lead Van Wert 58-28 as we get ready to start fourth quarter action. Starters are back on the court for the Bears as they'll get the first possession of the game. Arnold, Langham, Hannah, Fisher, and Hepker. On the floor for Van Wert is Foster, Blackmore, Demekus, Florence, and Watson. So a couple starters, couple subs on for Van Wert. Bears start with their starters, and then we're going to get an offensive foul called on Avery Ann Fisher. I'm not so sure on Avery Ann's 4 fouls tonight. At least 3 haven't come from the same set of stripes there, so she might want to be a little bit nicer to that guy next time she sees him.
I'll tell you, I've seen this a lot. Here's my theory. All of basketball has now, you may call it evolved, I call it de-evolved, into high screen and roll, open post. So officials aren't used to seeing screens.
Right.
So when they see a good screen, they have to call a foul because screening never happens anymore.
Speaking of good screens, Florence comes off of a great ball screen up high and hits a 3. Gets scoring started here for Van Wert in the fourth quarter. Avery Ann Fisher tries to answer off front iron. Great offensive rebound by Piper Hannah. She finds Langham, back to Hannah, attacks, kicks to Josie Arnold. Left side 3 is good for Josie Arnold. She answers the 3 from Van Wert. 17 now for Arnold on the night. Good answer by the Bears. There's that high screen again, trying to get Florence to look. She'll step back, take the 3. It's short. Arnold and Hepker do a good job of checking out. Arnold gets a defensive rebound up to Fisher. Fisher crosses over Florence.
Oh, nice.
Gets it to the rim through contact, gets it to go. Avery Ann Fisher with 18, 63-31, Lady Bears on the main stop scoreboard. Same offense each time down the floor now. Good attack by Watson again. Can't get the runner to go. Gets her own rebound, and then we're going to get a foul called. Either Arnold or Fisher. If it's Fisher, it's 5, but they're going to give it to Arnold, her 3rd. Ball came down between all 3 players and kind of bounced hard, just ended up in Watson's hands. And that was the lesser of 2 evils there. Josie Arnold will take that foul for her 3rd versus Avery Ann fouling out.
You know, the 7 fouls that Avery Ann and Josie have gotten have either been questionable or they've just gotten caught in bad spots. Not that they've done anything wrong, they've got caught in goofy spots and had some bad luck.
We'll get some subs here for the Bears now. Langham, Fisher, and Arnold are checked out of the game as Miller, Kidston, and Vollmer check in.
Nice job by the Lady Bears of extending that lead in the third quarter, just like we asked them to.
Yeah, good response by the Bears. Second free throw by Watson is no good. Made the first. 63-32, the Lady Bear lead with 6:25 on the main stop scoreboard here in the fourth. Hannah swings it to Emmy Miller, gives it to Jessie Kidston. Finds Vollmer, great curl cut. Just got to go strong, kind of fell away on that. Bray Hepker can't find the handle, ends up in Kidston's hand. She finds Hannah. 3-pointer good, nice job. Jesse Kidston, right place at the right time and made a good decision. Found Piper Hanna. Piper Hanna knocks down the three, lead to 34 now for the Bears. Ball poked away by Miley Vollmer. She picks Florence's pocket. She attacks to the rim, finishes off glass. Miley Vollmer now with 8. She's been active when she's been on the floor tonight. Van Wert quickly the other way. Watson's runner doesn't go. And then Hepker and Vollmer run into each other. Ball goes out of bounds off the Bears. Clock is running now. The Bears up by 36. A couple more subs will check in now. Dowdy back on the floor for Van Wert. Blackmore comes out. Piper Hanna and Brea Hepker, will come out. And Bree Richmond and Claire Struble. Checking Bree Richmond, the aforementioned leading scorer from the JV game tonight for the Bears.
She played a great JV game tonight.
Shot the ball well, knocked down a couple of threes. The Lady Bears made 7 threes in the third quarter alone as Van Wert runs an out-of-bounds play to Coach Dowdy's daughter, second leading scorer of the team with just under 5 left. You know, the third foul called on Jesse Kidston. I feel like she's been in long enough to have 3 fouls, but there they are. Dowdy can't finish off the three-point play, but Miley Vollmer lets Watson's inside of her. Watson misses a putback. Vollmer gets that rebound. Richmond to Kidston. So some JV girls here, hopefully thinking the same thing that Van Wert did. Great cut by Struble. Nice find by Richmond. She misses. Ball finds Kidston again, who finds Vollmer. Kidston gets it underneath, gets bumped, can't get the shot to go. Ball now rebounded by Foster. So 3 good looks by the Lady Bears, a couple of good offensive rebounds, just not able to finish that possession. And then Dowdy's going to try to force another. You can see a lot of her ball game must be free throws. I didn't check their stats from the free throw line, but there's just a lot of bull in the china shop basketball there.
Yeah, Dowdy's gotten to the free throw line quite a bit this year. I believe she shot close to 53 throws through 10 games. Florence a little less. Like we said in the pregame, she was 94%, 16 of 17, but didn't get to the line that often.
They called that one on the floor, so our Van Wert will inbound. Florence takes a runner, left baseline, it doesn't go. Foster tries to come in and grab the rebound, goes out of bounds off of her. So the Lady Bears will keep possession. 68-34, running clock here in the fourth quarter. JV squad on the floor for the Lady Bears. Jesse Kidston brings it up, gets it to Bree Richmond. She'll attack left side against the extended defense, kicks to Emmy Miller. Curls all the way to the basket. Nice job by Emmy Miller. Aggressive, look for a bucket right there. Great job by Emmy Miller.
Yeah, she did a really nice job of squaring up, reading the defense, and finding that open lane and making a great decision.
Lady Bears stay in their man-to-man. Jesse Kidston picks a pocket. Takes it right away from Bella Beam, pushes up, finds Struble, gets it to Slagle. Emma Slagle knocks down a jump shot. A couple of varsity points there for Emma Slagle. Another really good JV contributor every night for the Lady Bears. Lady Bears JV at this point 11-1 on the season and played really good basketball. Ball finds Foster on the block, working against Struble. Struble gets a piece of that shot. Emmy Miller picks up the block. Spin dribble. Runner in the lane doesn't go. Kidston finds a reverse layup, doesn't go. Rebound comes down to Claire Struble. We're going to get a jump ball called. And that ball will go to Van Wert. Emmy Miller will get a chance to take a seat. Carly McDade, the freshman, checks in. Jesse Kidston will take a seat as Chloe Wallace checks in. Well, we talked about a little bit of a get-right game for the Lady Bears. Now, Coach Grosjean has gotten a chance to clear everybody off the bench. He's got 2 more JVs that he's got a chance to get in. I think he dressed the student body this game, so he's got a couple more guys to get in there if he can. One coming to the scorers table. Both are Josie Cordy and Allie Elkins. A couple of freshmen will check in for Struble and Richmond. So nice night for the Lady Bears tonight. Chance to get off the schneid. Played much better and really shot the ball better in the second half. We didn't shoot it great in the first half. Our numbers are going to have to look better from the second half shooting because they really made a lot of shots, it feels like. Van Wert gets a couple of looks. got one offensive rebound. Carly McDade came down with a second one. She gets tied up and thrown to the ground. Lady Bears will get possession on the jump ball with a minute left here in the ball game. Clock continues to run under a minute, 72-34. Lady Bears lead. Wallace will inbound it to Josie Cordy. No reason to hold the ball here if you're a Lady Bear. Get your shot up. Wallace gets it across, gets it to Elkins. Elkins attacks left hand, gets the paint. Tried to get a shot off and then fumbles it out of bounds. 31 seconds and counting on the Main Stop scoreboard. Only a couple of nights away from Thirsty Thursday. Don't forget about Main Stops on Thursday nights. Dowdy finds Foster. Nice move back to her left shoulder. Can't get it to go. Gets her own miss. And then we're going to get another jump ball. And if the official plays this right, he can just about run this out if he wanted to as the clock counts down at 6 and 5. Van Wert inbounds play. Florence will get one more chance for a three. Can't get it to go off back iron. So that's going to be how this one ends. Bryan Lady Bears 72, Van Wert 34. Everybody that dressed tonight for the Lady Bears got a chance to get some varsity action. Lady Bears, after a really rough time the last time on their floor, much better 4 quarters of basketball. There's still some things that can get better, but the coaching staff's going to feel a lot better when they watch the film on that, get a chance to see the way they performed. The way they played defense in the first half, turned Van Wert over a bunch, even fixed a little bit of our rebounding and shooting issues from the first half to the second half. So Coach Grosjean and his staff and his players got to feel real good about how that one ended.
Yeah, you know, when you play a team that's 0-10, and you've been in that situation as well, as a coach, you come in and automatically think, do you really want to play an 0-10 team because, boy, you don't want to get beat by them. You come off a couple tough losses. You know the whole mindset.
Yeah.
So you really press your kids all week in practice about you have to be focused. You have to be focused. You have to come out, be prepared right away. I don't think Coach Grosjean can have any qualms how our kids responded tonight, their effort. They got better at a lot of different facets. So, again, a really, like you said, a get-right game, but they also executed very well tonight.
Yeah, and you've got, you know, with some of the big dogs that are coming up on the schedule, Delta, PH, people like Delta right away on Friday night back here, you feel good because it's like Coach Grosjean said, you know, you don't want an athletic Van Wert team with a couple of good scores to stick around, think they've got a chance to be in a battle. You want to get to the point where you feel good about things, and I think that's what they accomplished tonight. Now they can go into a Wednesday night practice, a Thursday night practice, focusing solely on what does Delta do and be a little less concerned about what are the things that we're doing. And I think that's where they've probably been lately is like, we got to fix us.
Right.
And now they can game plan, get back to where you want to be. Okay, this is how we're going to attack a really good team. And I don't know where the Wayne Trace Delta game ended up, but you know Delta was down tonight. So if you can get them coming in licking wounds a little bit, maybe that's something that helps the Bears in a big league game.
Absolutely. And we said when you play a team like this and you've been exposed to the competition the Lady Bears have, you tell your kids, then we have to show that we have gotten better by playing really good competition against teams like this. I think they accomplished it tonight. I think they came out and said, we have played a lot better teams, and we're just going to not let this be a contest from the get-go. I think they did all the things they needed to make that happen.
Absolutely. All right, well, the end of the ball game tonight, Lady Bears with a big win over Van Wert. We're going to take a break here. We're going to come back, talk some stats from the ball game, and see if maybe we can talk Coach Grosjean in up to having some words. We'll be right back after this on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
The Bryan Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
Here in Williams County, we believe that no veteran should feel forgotten. Our Veteran Service Office is here to serve, helping with VA claims, pensions, healthcare enrollment, and so much more. We're veterans serving veterans with dignity, honor, and respect. Reach out to us today to see how we can help, because the only veteran we can assist is the one that doesn't contact us.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
Back at Bryan High School, Lady Bears big winners tonight over the Van Wert Cougars coming in from Van Wert County. Van Wert played hard, got some kids out there that can do some nice things, but they remain winless on the year for Coach Dowdy. So are we ready with some stats? We need to kill a little more time here.
We got some inputting going on for team stats. I believe the individual stats we could probably muddle our way through. I'll apologize to our listeners for not being mathematically correct as I give these scores.
Hopefully nobody's paying attention.
Let's start out with the Cougars. Blackmore with 1. Dowdy, their leading scorer tonight with 9, came in averaging 10. Boyer with 2. Watson with 4. Jaslyn Florence with 8. Most of those came with 2 minutes left in the third and all the way through the fourth. Really a non-factor throughout the game. And Katie D'Amicis with 8. I believe she had all 8 in the first half, so nice job by the Lady Bears. For the Lady Bears, Slagle with 2. Hepker with 5. Miley Vollmer with 8. Josie Arnold with 17. Avery Ann Fisher with 18. Piper Hanna with 7. Emma Miller with 2. And Amaya Langham with 3. So the Bears, 3 players with 13, 18, 17. A couple others with 8 and 7. I think that's a really balanced scoring. Sure makes them very difficult to defend. Let's do team stats real quick before Coach Groshing gets up here. For the Van Wert Lady Cougars, 10 for 38 from the floor tonight, 8 for 28 from the 2, 2 for 10 from the 3, 8 for 14 from the free throw line. 17 turnovers, 14 offensive rebounds, probably a stat he's not going to be real happy with, and 15 defensive rebounds. For the Lady Bears, 26 for 61 from the floor, an outstanding 15 for 32 from the 2, 11 for 29 from the 3, 9 for 14 from the line. Lady Bears only 7 turnovers. Terrific job of taking care of the basketball. And look at that offensive rebound number. 24 offensive rebounds for the Lady Bears tonight. We talked about it. Not only did they do a great job of getting offensive rebounds, we made Van Wert pay when we got the offensive rebounds. Made sure those second chances and third chances we got, we capitalized on the offensive end. So I'm sure Coach Droshine is going to talk about the good and the bad here, but again, great effort by the Bears. Those kids have been to the wars. They're competitive kids. You get punched in the mouth against Fairview. I want to see how you respond, because really that's what a basketball season's about, responding and getting better. Great job tonight by Bryan.
Yeah, and it was a good opportunity tonight. Turn the calendar, get into a fresh month. You know, let's wipe that taste out of our mouth. We're still in our own gym, but we got a chance to kind of put that one behind us. So I thought the girls did a good job of that tonight.
And, you know, we talked about our start. Obviously, that's a scary team because they've got some athletes, and on film, they've played with some people, you know, for 2.5, 3 quarters. And then, obviously, the depth factor comes into play. But, you know, I was really proud of the way our kids, we prepared for 3 days of practice. Obviously, Fairview didn't go the way we wanted it to, and we worked on some things, tweaked some things. We actually looked like we ran our half-court offense that we worked on in practice.
The ball movement looked really good. Looked like we were looking for each other. We cut well. It looked like we played inside out a little bit when we wanted to do that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought we did a really nice job sharing the basketball. We got some great minutes out of Miley Vollmer and Jesse Kidston. It was nice to see Josie Arnold not in foul trouble. That was a first.
That is nice. It's a nice change.
Anything to do with good parenting on that? Or?
Yeah, I'm sure there was some conversation.
I think it had to do more with bad parenting and some threatening probably.
But, you know, I thought our kids did a really good job. We put pressure on the basketball, sped them up. You know, we needed that. We needed a confidence boost, especially with what we got on the horizon on Friday.
We talked about that coming in. You needed a get-right game. You had a chance. You know, your normal rotation played well. You got good contributions, but then you get a chance to play everybody. Your JV wins big. You had some girls play really good there, so you got a chance to clear the bench a little bit. Hasn't happened as much as what we've been accustomed to, so it's a good thing to see coming off the Golden Bears bench.
And our JVs are very capable, and what's kind of is missing is we've taken all the guards off that JV team, and we've forced some kids to handle the basketball, and they're getting better. They're getting better every game. I think they're 11-1 or something like that, and they play hard. I really like the athleticism. They give us a great look in practice, and you got to have that.
Up through about the 4-minute mark of the third quarter, Van Wert's 2 leading scorers, who came in averaging about 23 a game, were scoreless. If you could talk a little bit about the individuals that defended them, but also maybe explain how individually guarding a person and taking scores away also rely on all 5 players on the floor. I thought your kids did a great job of getting those other kids through screens and talking them through it.
Yeah, Piper drew the assignment of guarding 12, and on film she's a slasher. She actually goes better to her left to score the basketball than she does right, and we just told Piper, keep her in front of you as best you can. If she's going left, we're not helping off. They like to force you to help off the corners, and that's when they hit threes. And obviously 2 hit a 3 there in the first half, and I think the volleyball line, and that was on the scouting report. We said we can't let 2 stand and shoot. I thought we didn't switch as much as we normally do. We told kids you can go under screens, and I thought our kids on 21, the Dowdy girl, who's pretty savvy, and she's strong. Once she gets down inside, she's a strong kid. They tried to post her up a few times, and I thought our kids moved her enough to, and put enough pressure on the basketball that they couldn't see her.
Right. Well, we've got a big league game on Friday night. Delta's coming to town, and Delta lost to Wayne Trace tonight, so maybe coming in licking wounds a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully they don't get too fired up, and we can slow them down a little bit. That's an athletic bunch, and they got a really nice point guard and the Loman girl, and they've got some other weapons too. So hopefully our fans are going to come out and support these kids. I told the seniors, we only got 2 playing, but there's 2 others down there. We only got a handful of games left on this floor. We got to take advantage of the ones we got left and make some memories.
Absolutely.
We talked a little bit as a coach. I just want to know if you have a feel for this. Last year we did a home game against Napoleon, and they just took it to us. And we felt like after that game, whatever was said, whatever spirited conversations may have happened, that group just turned it around. I've never seen a group turn on a dime like that. And maybe this is an unfair question I'm going to ask you. As a coach, you kind of get a sense of how your kids react. Do you get a sense of this group maybe doing a little bit of that same thing and leaning on last year's experience a bit?
I think they know we have to play hard, and we didn't play as well. We got off to a horrendous start against Fairview, and I think some of them, showed up on that, whatever it was, Wednesday. We had practice. They were gassed, and we had one of our best practices of the year, in my opinion. And then we followed it up the next day with another one, and I thought our kids really responded well. They were sponges. The game plan we took, they score a bunch of points, Van Wert does, on inbounds plays. And people, for whatever reason, couldn't defend that stack, and they run somebody the ball, and we took that away for the most part tonight. And our kids are, they know that we have to play hard. We're undersized. We rebounded a little bit better tonight. I know that's been an Achilles heel in some of the games we've had, and we focused on that, and hopefully we're getting better.
Absolutely. All right, well, congratulations on a nice big win at home tonight. Good luck on Friday against the Delta Panthers. We'll be here to watch.
All right, thanks, Arnie. Thanks, Tim.
All right, just a reminder, today's game was brought to you by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Bryan Parks and Rec, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Veteran Services of Williams County, Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, Baldy's Furniture, Stark's Plumbing and Heating, and Thiel Supply Center. That game on Friday here where the Lady Bears host the Delta Panthers is our next game on the Golden Bear Sports Network. Should be a varsity tip anytime after 7 or 7:15. I want to thank our crew, Director John Dalrymple, Robotics Colton Sheeline, replay by Owen Sines, cameras tonight operated by Elijah Cummins, Josiah Cummins, and Remington Rosebrock. And I want to thank Rick Armentrout back at Q96.5. This student broadcast is produced by the Golden Bear Sports Network for the private use of our audience. Any duplication or other use of this broadcast, including descriptions or accounts of the game without express written consent of the Bryan City School District, is prohibited. One final time for all of us at Golden Bear Sports Network with Tim Meister. I'm Brian Arnold. In the final score, Lady Bears 72, Van Wert 54. Have a great night, everybody. I can't remember. Is that the right score? 72-54. I don't know. Is anybody listening?